Hello students, welcome to your optional how-to video for your Week 1 online lab ionic bonds. For this assignment we are going to be using our Explore Learning website, which has our online gizmo labs. Now you'll see I'm already logged in. The appearance of my account might be a little bit different than yours simply because I have a teacher account. But ultimately you're going to want to be in your chemistry tab or your chemistry course. You want to find the gizmo ionic bonds. Now you can click Launch over here, or if you end up clicking on the title, it'll bring you to a page like this. And then to launch the gizmo, you can click on the thumbnail picture, or you can click on Launch Gizmo. It's entirely up to you on which one you want to click on. Once the gizmo opens, this is what you're going to see. This is the starting page. The goal of your online lab is to have you use metals and nonmetals to make ionic compounds that are stable and neutral. And I'm going to show you how to use the gizmo to make that happen. So you'll notice on the screen I have a metal, which is sodium, and then I have nonmetal, which is chlorine. So my metal is here, my nonmetal is here. And then you can look down here at the key to know which one is which as well. So sodium, or my metal, is purple, chlorine is green. Now, when you get into this gizmo, you are going to want to select a few things. You want to select Show Charge, and you want to select Hide Inner Electrons. That really helps avoid confusion with all the extra electrons. And since when we're doing any type of bonding, the valence electrons are the most important ones. Those are going to be the ones we focus on, which again are those outermost electrons. Now again, the goal is to make a stable compound. With ionic compounds, the electrons are transferred, so they're either lost or gained. And now we're going to have to pull back into our previous knowledge on what will lose and what will gain in terms of classes of elements. We know metals like to lose valence electrons and nonmetals like to gain. So that background information is going to help you on this assignment. So if I wanted to make a stable compound or ionic compound with sodium and chlorine, I would click on the valence electron that I want sodium to lose, because again, sodium's a metal. And then I would put that with chlorine, because chlorine would like to gain. Now again, the goal is to have a full outer shell. You want it to be stable. And then the other goal is to have an electrically neutral compound, which means the charges should add up to 0. So if you look in the center of our ions now, I have a sodium cation, which is a +1, and then I have a chlorine anion, or chloride, which is a -1. And if I add those two charges together, I would get 0. So this would be considered a balanced compound. I could click Show Formula, and then I can also click Check down here, and this is what you're going to have to click on and take a screenshot of when you're done. So your screenshot should include this picture here with your ions, as well as your checked feedback. So now, what if I'm using sodium and chlorine, and let's say I change my nonmetal to nitrogen, and this is going to be what you'll do. You'll select a metal that you'll stick with and then change your nonmetals. And I'm going to show you this one because we might have to add some things. So if I start by going with sodium, which is purple, and I know sodium will lose its valence electron, so if I drag that over to nitrogen, nitrogen likes to gain. So I now have a +1 sodium and a -1 nitrogen. Now when you look at this, you'll see sodium has a nice full outer shell. It has 8 valence electrons. But nitrogen doesn't. It only has 6, so it's not stable. So we have to actually add more to this to make nitrogen stable. And since this sodium ion is stable, we don't have any other place that we can pull an electron from. So in order to do that, I would have to add a metal. So I added another sodium atom, and now I have another electron I can take and pull from to give to nitrogen. Now this sodium ion is stable because it has 8 valence electrons. The other one is still stable. But nitrogen still is not. It still has only 7 valence electrons. It wants 8. So I would have to add another metal, and you can move the metal wherever you want to. And then I would grab that valence electron and drag it to nitrogen. So now if you double check this, you'll see all 3 of my sodiums have a full outer shell. All 3 have 8 valence electrons, and now nitrogen also has 8 valence electrons. So if I feel like this is correct and I have everything done right, I can hit check and it will tell me, good job, all atoms are stable. So again, you want to have a stable atom in terms of the electrons being transferred, and you want to have an electrically neutral ion. Now, if I were to add this up, I have 3 plus 1s, so that would be a total of a plus 3. And then if I would subtract 3 from that nitrogen, I would get 0. So this is neutral. And then again, you would take a screenshot of this along with this information, with your formula, as well as your feedback, and that's what you'll put into your document that you submit. So good luck with this. I hope everything goes smoothly. As always, if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, make sure to do this and then move on to the next assignment.